Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. Late Saturday afternoon video. Sorry about that. I had gotten busy with working on this crafty machine, Honda powered with the GCV 2014. It happens to be the 917-370604. Ended up selling 3 mowers today. Guy came out first thing for a baby 20, then a lady came out with her grandson, and I was talking to the grandson. He said he works on mowers too, so I ended up selling him a crafty standard pusher with a quantum. He saw it on the bed of my truck and he said, would you sell that? So I sold that to him for 20 bucks. I had a piece of tape on it that said 10. I got it from a local scrapper, so I made 10 bucks on the deal. So I think it was a keyway issue. We got it out of the bed of the truck. We went to start it and it kicked back. I said, that's most likely a keyway issue. I even gave him the keyway. I said, take the flywheel off. You'll probably see the keyway is sheared. He seemed kind of hesitant. I said, it's an easy job. Go on YouTube. You can find some videos on that. So that turned out good. This Craftsman here, guy dropped it off. He was going to buy one of mine, but ended up bringing this over. His nephew gave it to him. It had some severe sloppiness in the front wheel drive assembly. It started, I put gas in it and it started on its own. I didn't have to do carb work. I replaced the air filter, sharpened the blade, and changed the oil. So the bearing assembly is that number. If you type in 202 is an old number, they've gone to the 201 number, but you'll get hits either way. The replacement gray wheels, that's the number for the gray wheels. You can get these in gray or white. I matched it up with the rear wheels are gray, so I got another gray. You can get them in white. Here's an example of a Turo wheel and another Crafty or Husqvarna wheel in white. So the bearing assembly you can buy the whole assembly, or you can just buy the bearing. The bearing on the other side was cracked here and it wouldn't hold the C-clip, so I just ordered a pair and we're going to replace this side. I've already started taking this one apart. I figured I'd grab you for the last half of the video. So I'll show you what I've done so far. Remove the wheel, taken the C-clip off of the end of the axle, just pop that off with a screwdriver. Gear comes off, and then there's a pin that goes through the center of the axle. You can see the hole right here. Just tap that out. One side's got a little keeper ring to it. The other side is smoother, so it goes in and stays in place. Once it's in place, the pressure from the assembly will keep that from falling out. Plus, when you put the gear back on, it'll look something like this. So it's not going to dance up and down. It goes in that slot of the gear. So there's two 11mm nuts on the back of this whole assembly. You reach those from under the front of the unit. This whole thing will pop off for you. There's a C-clip back here. you use, oh, there it is. You use some pliers, C-clamp pliers, unclamp it from there, and it's as easy as R&R, remove and replace. This whole assembly comes out. You've got a rubber filler type spacer here, and this is the old one. You can see all the play in there. Actually, the bearings are probably shot. It's ready to fall apart. See that? All the bearings are worn out, so you get a lot of jumping up and down on the axle, causing the gear to jump up and down. When the gears jump up and down, they take a bite out of the plastic as it's going up and down. You'll have some worn out plastic teeth. You can actually pop this off and reuse the assembly here, but I went ahead and bought 2 new ones because like I said, the other side had a big crack in it. You can just buy your own bearings, pop that old one out, and then just stamp the new one in its place. Okay, so yeah, here's the other one that had the crack in it. So where'd I set the new one? Here we go. So just a side by side, the old one and the new one. So we're just gonna, like I said, R&R it, put it all back together. So the only bear might be squeezing this rubber together to get my C-clamp on. So let me try doing that. Let me bring you up. So a little overcast today and kind of windy. Winds out of the north. I'm on vacation next week. I'm going to go to a couple of car auctions, maybe buy a couple of cars to try to flip. A buddy of mine is a retired car dealer. He still has connections. I'll just go with him, tell him what I want, and he'll bid and buy. I just pay him back with a small convenience fee for letting me buy wholesale. I'm looking at another Chevy truck I may upgrade. Not that I use it a lot. It's just a Home Depot go-getter. I use the Honda CRV for most of my driving because it's got a smaller engine, better gas mileage. Okay, I popped that into place. So there's a couple of dealer-only auctions locally. So I may do that this week, go to one or both. And then fix some mowers. The belt for that zero turn I got in my Yakka came in. So I may work on that. So I think that's going to stay. Okay, so it's just a matter of putting this thing back together. This side's a little more challenging because the transmission's in the way of the studs for the adjuster bracket. Okay, so this just slides in over the axle. And this should be interesting. Bring you in a little bit. So I got that Corolla I bought. That was from a dealer-only auction. I'm setting that up for my brother. I have to bring the car to one of my scrappers. He was actually a painter. He said he worked for Econo Paint for a long time, so he knows car painting. I went ahead and bought a paint kit on eBay, some paint, hardener, and reducer, and then I bought from another company some primer. So I got all the material. He says, bring me the car and I'll paint it for you. So I want to do some prep work, make it easy for him. There's a lot of rust on the roof. I want to OSFO that, and there's a dent in the plastic bumper. I want to take that off, use a heat gun, and kind of put that into place, knock the dent out of it. I'm going to just try to do it with heat and not try to Bondo it up. We'll see. I'll probably end up having to use a little Bondo. And the interior is atrocious. I think I showed you the car. The person was a smoker. My son's let me borrow a steam cleaner. So once the car's painted, I'll do the interior. So I got some car work ahead of me. So the truck I'm looking at's a crew cab. I got an extra cab now, GMC. But my truck was in North Dakota for 4 years, so there's some rust. The truck I'm looking at's a local dealer trade-in. It originated here in Sarasota County and spent its life here, so there's no rust. When I first got the GMC, I went through and replaced all the brake lines. The other owner had spliced and diced. The brake line would rust. He would put a pipe fitting, coupling type thing. They had so many patches, there was hardly any original brake line left. It was all patched. I said, this is crapola. So I replaced it all. And then I did all of 4 new calipers. So I've done a lot of work to the truck. Ended up putting a new transmission filter, new fluid. I tend to go through a vehicle that I buy used and do everything the way I want it done. New rear end, gear oil, all that kind of jazz. Okay, time for the pin. Hopefully I can get this thing in here. My uh-oh, what happened here? Oh, I know what happened. The C-clip popped off. So this whole thing just popped out of place. So I'm going to have to start over. I'm not going to torture you with that. I got to really make sure that C-clip is in place. So you get the gist of it. I'm going to set you guys loose. The Craftsman 917-370-604. It's a 2014 model year. Just a front wheel drive machine with the Honda GCV 160. The bearing assembly, you get the whole thing, the bearing and the assembly. For the gray wheel, it's this. I don't have the white wheel number for you, but you could probably Google that and get a part number. All I got is the gray wheeler. So this guy said he would pick it up this week, so it'll be ready for him. Anywho, appreciate you coming out. Sorry about the late video. Kind of forgot about you kids and cadets. I kind of was plowing ahead on my projects. We'll come up with something for Sunday we can talk about. Have a good evening. Thanks again for coming out. If you're going out for a nice meal, don't forget to tip your waitress and wait staff. They're doing an awesome job. As always, like and subscribe, and come back. We'll do another one tomorrow. Thank you very much. Adios, amigos.